Session, a weekly recap of your 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, Fogo de Show, Penn Community Bank, Chickies and Pete's, and the Capitol Grill Center City. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, welcome to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We are live at Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games. Those fighting Phils, and they are fighting.
Fighting. They've been fighting,
They've been fighting for a while. We'll talk about that with my co-host, Tommy Greene, and I am very excited to be joined by our buddy, Erik Kratz. What's up, Kratzy?
How are you, boys?
You've already had a busy day today.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
kind of.
You're a media pro.
Yes, he is.
My fan was cheering.
Yes.
You might be in the booth with. You might be two of the biggest guys. You know, and you better be careful.
To the physically big?
Yeah.
Well, I know that because back in the day when Erik was playing with us, spring training, we're always kind of walking around with the media, taking him going behind the clubhouse. And Erik, one time I didn't know these guys did this, but he had the medicine ball, and above, there was a doorway, outside. You know their weight room is, and there's a doorway. He's outside, and there's a big line up there. I guess when you're a kid and you measure yourself, right?
Yeah.
There's a line up there about the record for who threw the medicine ball the highest. Winner right there, Erik Kratz.
Winner chicken dinner. Huh?
Do you think you still have the record?
I'm pretty sure I do, but I probably should have been hitting more than I was throwing a medicine ball. I don't think it really translates. It's like saying you can't make the club in the tub.
Right.
You can't get hits in the weight room.
Right.
No, you cannot.
I was in there.
Well, it's pretty impressive that you get the medicine ball, God knows how many, 9 feet up there or whatever. Maybe more, probably more.
Oh, I don't remember. I've never seen it, but how heavy was it?
I mean, I think it was like a 10 or 15-pound ball, whatever the standard one is.
But there was a line. He had the record.
You throw it up there.
Did you try it, Braze?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was trying to throw it on
you'd still
the
be
roof.
in a cast if you
No,
tried it.
I still have PTSD of Jeff Cooper. It's I don't go anywhere near the training room, weight room. Jeff Cooper scared the daylights out of me.
Coop scared everybody.
I know he's been gone for 20 years, but it's just the specter, the ghost of Jeff Cooper.
You have Coop, man.
haunts
He's
me,
a man.
Right?
Did you know Coop?
That's how it used to be. Coop would be like, well, why are you coming in? Why don't you get your own ice? Is it going to be bad? And you're like, maybe I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Now they're like, come on in. They come and pick them up.
Welcome.
And they're
Welcome.
Come in, and it's like this, it's an ambiance.
Now
they have,
it's a spa.
They have essential oils going. And
masseuse.
And
mental health.
And I know Wheeler's hurt right now, but Wheeler was always just like, whatever. He's like, give me a burger and I'll go out and pitch. So there's a few of the guys left that don't spend any time in the weight room. But when I came up, it was like, why are you in the weight room? The first time I was in the big leagues, I was 30 years old. Brendan Donovan was like, he looks at me, Brendan Donnelly, the relief pitcher, he goes, you're in the hot tub before your first game in the big leagues? I was like, I'm 30. He's like, I didn't know. Okay, he's like, they're ready to get on you, and it's different because they know so much more. It's so much better. For
I was a gym rat too. I mean, I was doing what they basically told me.
Oh, really?
Wow. You guys,
shock.
We give glasses out if nobody can tell. TG
No,
wasn't a gym rat.
I did what they told me to do. I mean, as far as doing the cuff weights and doing things, trying to be proactive and that type of thing. So I enjoyed that side of it. I mean, it made me feel good about me. Yeah, so that's half the battle. That's half the battle.
I'm going to give you guys a funny story. So way back when, a young executive that I was, Vet Stadium, right? We were playing. What team did Phil Plantier play for? Maybe
Boston
Astros?
Red Sox.
Did he
and
play Astros?
San Diego.
Padres.
Padres.
Phil Plantier come up with the Red Sox organization, and then he went to San Diego.
All right, so we're playing the Padres, right? And there was a cut through from I guess the locker room to the weight room, right? And then to where our office was. So I had to cut through the weight room. Phil Plantier was jacked, right?
Yeah.
And he
Stocky
was
guy. Yeah,
he was benching big heavy weights and he said, "Hey kid, can you spot me?" And and I said yes too quickly. And I get up there, and he's got like a lot of weight on there. And he's sitting there going like, and he's going like, oh. And then like he gets to the point where he does one. I'm like, oh, you better not try another one because I'm going to have to get involved. And all of a sudden he's like, one more. And he's like, and I'm panicking, thinking like, how am I going to get this thing?
That was your chance.
Right.
That was your chance to help the Phillies win a game.
He would have been on the DL, and the Phillies would have won that game.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I did drop one of the closers off for the Diamondbacks at 3 in the morning after a night in Downey's at the hotel on Delaware Avenue.
Was L.A. involved?
L.A. was definitely involved, and I told him I would drop him off, and it was the closer. I won't say his name.
Okay.
For Diamondbacks?
Rhymes with pen, but we're all good. And so I dropped him off. He came. There was a save opportunity in the next game, and I was sitting next to Brandreth or somebody in our office and said, I guarantee you this guy's going to blow the save. Fighting Phil's going to win tonight. He's like, really? I said, I just have a feeling. Sure enough, the save was blown, and I think I got the save. I should get credit, right, for that. Should I get like I started the game? I should have gone down there and taken the star of game interview from Fransky and Murph.
Yes,
right?
No better. You had something to do with it,
right?
You should have. JJ would have interviewed you after the game.
JJ, right.
Yeah,
that's what it was back then.
But if you get I mean, there was one game where Ricky Ricardo, Spanish voice of the Eagles
Ricky.
and Spanish voice of the Yankees,
and he was also, I don't know if you knew this, he was also the MC for Rick James. When he
Rick Super Freak?
Yes, for his
he's done everything.
For part of his, I think for 3 or 4 years he was a Miami DJ, and he was the MC for Rick James. I'm telling you, next time you're around Ricky Ricardo,
I'll ask him.
Have him tell you some Rick James stories because obviously you can imagine what they're going to sound like.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
But he said one time when Aroldis Chapman came into town, he gave Aroldis Chapman these Cuban cannolis or something.
Okay.
And he had sent them to him, but he sent
that sounds a little suspicious right there.
He sent them like 12 of them, and supposedly Chappie ate every one of them and was sick and came in the game and blew the save. I tried to find out if it was the game that I hit the home run off of Chapman, but it wasn't.
Yeah, you don't want that because that's tainted.
Yeah, then I'm like,
right?
oh, great, I hit a mediocre good pitcher.
Some guy who's holding his stomach. Like,
right.
That's great.
Oh, my.
All right, so we mentioned that obviously you're a media star. Tell the listeners, Foul Territory. When did you start that? It's a podcast, live. It's a live podcast that's also streamed on NBC Sports Philadelphia in Philadelphia, elsewhere, and
not
on YouTube.
Not just how it started. I mean, how did it get started? Not just when. I mean, how did all that come to fruition?
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. We're going on our 3rd season, so basically about 2 3/4 years. We started right during the WBC. That's spring training, so it was like amazing time to launch it. Myself, A.J. Przinsky, Scott Braun, and Mark Weiner were the 4. We started a media company called Make Plays Media, and it really was because we feel like, as I'm looking at the live ballpark cam from the MLB Network, we felt like it was very washed. The media for baseball is very washed by the owners. The reason that we know what we know about collective bargaining is because the owners push it all through their MLB Network. And I think people nowadays want to actually know what's going on. They want to hear from the players. And I get it. Like Mookie Betts, we're watching this right now. Mookie Betts is on the MLB Network. And they're going to ask him what his favorite color is, what it feels like to win a game, and how neat it is that they're in first place. But, Tommy, Braze, you've been around the game. When you hang out with guys that played, you get different kinds of stories. You get different insight into exactly what's going on the field. And I feel like players understand that part of it. And so that was the reason we started the show, to give fans a more in-depth look at what baseball is actually like. And not just that's so neat. Right. We're going to open up baseball cards, and we're going to do stuff that's cool and fun. And don't ever talk about the fact that Oakland is essentially quiet quitting to get out of Oakland. Yeah. The Twins are quiet quitting because they were in debt. Don't ever talk about the fact, don't ever talk about tough things that in the game I think helps fans
understand.
Connect, and understand. Why was Mookie Betts struggling? Why was Anthony Volpe struggling? Well, we reported or we talked to somebody before this came out, but in May, he separated his shoulder, and he had an MRI that he was playing through. It inhibited him from making clean throws. It inhibited him from diving back into bases head first, stealing head first, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
people really don't know about it.
You don't know about because why? Because you want to play as a player every single day, and you got to play through some things. So I think the show in general helps players feel more comfortable talking, which I hope fans get the connection that, like, oh, man, I watched the show. Today we had Pete Fairbanks on. Yeah. Last week we had, I can't even remember all the guys. We had a rookie that just came up, Sal Stewart. We have usually one to two players a day. We have 3 guests. We have a writer. John Middleton was on one of our other shows of the Phillies right now. We've had Schwarber and Marsh and Trey Turner and Aaron Nola and Wheeler. I mean, it's easier to say the guys we haven't had.
Yeah. And I'm sure they love talking to you, again, because they're talking to a peer that's been through the same grind of the season and, gone through everything. And you especially, I mean, how many, you played parts of 11 seasons, right? And I was looking at all the teams you played for.
You're a catcher. You get
I do
banged up.
Right. Well, I do Immaculate Grid. You know the Immaculate Grid?
Oh, yeah.
Where you are.
That's the one thing I'm a superstar at.
You are so good at.
I'm glad y'all are.
I use you. I use Matt Stairs. I use Dotel. I use Evan Robinson or Evan Jackson. There's a lot of guys that. But what I'm saying is you've played for a lot of organizations. You've been up and down. You've had a great career. But think about all the relationships, Tommy, that Erik has met throughout his career, right? Who now, when you're doing a media thing, and you need to call on someone from the Pirates or you need to call on someone from the Blue Jays, well, he's got an in with almost half the organizations in baseball, right?
Yeah.
It was almost half, 14 different organizations I played with. But that's the part that I think everybody, maybe TG, maybe you don't agree with me, guys miss talking, hanging out in the clubhouse.
Right.
Dude,
we
that's
get to do that.
The best.
We get to do that on the show.
Right.
We get to talk about different stuff. You know what? You have an older guy on that's an ex-player. We had Greg Maddux on the other day. We had Jeff Blum was on today.
Like Greg Maddux, man, he's a piece of work.
And they have their own view of what the game was like.
Right.
We had our view. Players currently have the view, and so you talk about so many different things. But to be able to connect with those guys, even when I didn't have the show, I was always like texting with these guys. And just this weekend, my buddy Ryan Goins, the Angels interim manager, who's filling in for Ron Washington, he had a death in the family, so he had to leave for 2 days. My buddy Ryan Goins was the stand-in manager for the Angels.
Right.
I didn't even know it. I'm watching the game. What? Like, I text him. I'm like, dude, you got to come on the show.
Yeah.
Like, before you were nobody, and now you're like you were the manager of the Angels. So like stuff like that. Like we get to bust some chops. And we get to, like,
well, that's
actually
the best
hear
thing
what's
about
going on.
It
is so much fun. And I disagree with people that say the clubhouse, that's the thing that I miss the most is the clubhouse. Because right now it's clinching season. I miss having champagne with the boys.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I miss having those kinds of celebrations you work the entire season for to win. But
I had one.
Moments.
And I tell you what, that people ask me what's the most important thing. I said, It was winning the division for me because that's a year's worth of work.
You'll never forget.
That was a year's worth of work. Yes. Everybody had to, and that was fun.
Now, it's interesting.
That was fun.
They would have, like last night, we had the plastic, or yesterday, we had the plastic set up in the clubhouse.
Yep.
But it would have been interesting if we had clinched, or if the Mets had lost, but the Mets played after. I think they finished after us.
Yeah. They did.
But
they
if
went a little longer.
But if we had won, right? I guess we'd have to have a celebration, but it would be somewhat muted because we're flying out to L.A. and we're also have a huge series against L.A. I mean, because obviously we can almost put that second seed to bed if we take 2 or 3.
Put that baby to bed without a diaper,
right? But I still think they would have. That was my home run call, by the way, on this station. We do one game. Sorry, we're going all over the place. We do one game where we allow our radio affiliates to broadcast back to Philadelphia from spring training, and we have a lot of different affiliates, and WBCB is one of the affiliates. So about 13 years ago, I think Lee Alexander and Matt Miro said, "Hey John, can you? We have a sponsors coming down. Can you call a game?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, it'd be great, right?" All of a sudden, I started thinking about it. I'm like starting to get nervous, right? You've never done it before, and you want to do a good job.
Yeah.
So I went down to Wheels is still down there. I'm talking to Wheels about tips. I'm talking to Scott Fransky about tips. And so I think the first 4 years, I was taking it too seriously. I was just, trying to be a profprofessional.
Right.
I'm not.
Professional?
I'm not going to do this job for a living, right? So after the 4th year, I said, you know what? I'm going to come up with some fun home run calls. So sure enough, I'm watching Tampa Bay Lightning game in my hotel room, and Will Ferrell is on the broadcast.
Oh.
And someone on Tampa scores a goal, and Will Ferrell says, "Put that baby to bed without a diaper." Score by Nikolai so-and-so.
He stole it.
So I wrote it down.
Wasn't even your original.
No, not at all. So I wrote it down.
He stole it.
And sure enough, Reese Hoskins hits a home run. And I don't know if it was you next to you. And a sponsor. We had some sponsor like Joe from Joe's Towing or somewhere. And I said, "Oh, it's going. And put that baby to bed without a diaper. That ball's out of here." And the guy next to me is like looking at me like, what does that mean? Right?
Nobody knows what it means.
We don't know what it means.
Provocative.
But it's provocative, exactly. And then I stole one from Ben Davis last year. He gave me this one. He said, "I can't say this on the radio or TV. And so call that ball an Uber because that ball got hammered, right? Or call the Clearwater Police Department because that ball got murdered, right? So, yeah, it's a little touchy, right?
A little touchy.
Yeah.
More of independent film calling.
More independent film, right? But
Not mainstream.
HBO?
HBO, Showtime.
HBO, right.
Yes.
Late night HBO, 12 o'clock.
When you get the Showtime baseball game.
Yeah.
All right, coming up with the show, let's get more into foul territory. I want to talk to you about who have been the most creative guests, your favorite current player to interview, and your current alumni to interview. You're listening to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We are live from Chickies and Pete's with Erik Kratz and Tommy Greene.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice-cold draft beer, world-famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chickie and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard. Come on down if you're in the area. I'm John Brazer, joined my co-host Tommy Greene, along with our guest Erik Kratz. All right, Kratzy, who is the
Director of Fun and Games, by the way.
Tommy loves it.
What'd you think about that
I've
name?
been doing a radio show.
I love that name.
I've been doing a radio show with this guy for 15 years, and he still
It
laughs
cracks
every
me
time
up
he hears it.
every time I hear that.
I think I just can't wait.
It's great.
I can't wait for his job to come up.
Yeah. Are you taking it? Are you taking
I
it?
mean, if that's the description,
Yes, I'd love it.
yes.
Yes. Well, thank you. I gave it to myself, so that's a key too,
You're really good at it.
Yes, you
because
are.
I gave it to myself.
Yes.
All right, so Kratzy, we talked about it. I mean, you've interviewed everybody in baseball. You know everybody. There's got to be, who are some of the more fun ones? And then who is that the current player that's still playing, doesn't have to be a Philly, can be any team, who has the biggest, like, Rex Huller type personality in the game right now? Like, who is the most fun to interview?
Okay, so who we interviewed that has a big personality.
Or who do you want to interview that you know has a big personality?
You know what? Like, I really would love to, and I'm sure this is why the New York media loves him too, Jazz Chisholm. While I wouldn't agree with some of the things he does or says,
right,
I want to get him on the show. And I feel like a guy like that has a lot to say.
Yep.
And I want people to see him.
I agree with that now that you think about it.
I want people to see him not in the spotlight of like the like vanilla questions that are asked. I want to see him like talk about like what the clubhouse is truly like, because the Yankees clubhouse is like boring, sit in the square, like here we go. They're a great team, but they're very isolated.
Right.
And you don't see that personality. You don't see that Brandon Marsh personality. You don't see that Garrett Stubbs personality.
Right. I was going to say those are the two, to me, that have the biggest personalities for the Phillies. You mentioned the two guys.
Yeah.
Marsh is so like we were down at spring training, and I think WMMR was interviewing Brandon Marsh. I would say Brad Marsh, the Flyer.
Yeah.
And they said, Brandon,
no hair and all the hair.
Eric, what do you do on your day off? Do you go to the beach? Do you go swimming? Do you go whatever? He goes, swimming. He goes, no, I don't go to that ocean. He goes, that's Mr. Shark's territory. That's not my territory.
That's Mr. Shark.
He says, my feeling is on that is that if Mr. Shark came over to my house and knocked on the door, right? Well, then I gotta fight him because he's coming into my house, right? I'm coming into his house in the ocean. That's not my territory. That's where he lives. So I have no right to be there. I don't want to be in there where Mr. Shark's going to be. Now, again, if you ask that question to most 99% of players, they're like, I like to golf, spend time with the family, hang out with the kids, go to a nice restaurant maybe, right?
Yep.
But Brandon Marsh gives you, talking about Mr. Shark. And
he does have some left-handed in him. He thinks there's some left-hand in him.
There is that part of it.
Yeah.
But there's also the fact that there are people exactly like Brandon Marsh that will connect with a player like that, where if you don't get those honest interviews, if you don't get that honesty from them, then you're like, I don't know. Like, maybe there's nobody in the big leagues that's like me. There's somebody like everybody that somebody can connect to. There's a college frat that connects to Garrett Stubbs.
Right.
There is a McDonald's burger eating lover that connects to Wheeler. There's whatever it is. There's a outdoors person that connects with Nola. Like there's so many different personalities. And so for me to answer your question of who my favorite is, I think it's like different categories. It's like picking a favorite stadium.
Right.
Like there's different reasons why you like certain stadiums.
People ask that to me all the time. I always say, well, I've got to separate Fenway and Wrigley because that's separate. I can't include that with San Francisco, Pittsburgh, like that. Because it's just
mine's easy. It's pitching in Wrigley when the wind's blowing in 25
There you go.
miles an
So
hour.
that is an easy. That's an easy choice.
Easy,
right. or Montreal where you threw no hitter.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that mound was good.
The mound was good.
It
was closer to the plate. Like
it made you feel good. Yeah,
whatever it was. But to say that, so I my favorite interview was, and he's been on probably 3 or 4 times, Pete Alonso.
Yep.
As a Phillies area.
I bet he is a good one.
He was so good. He was so honest. And the one story, it's probably my favorite story, just off the top of my head when you said this, was when he basically told us, he goes, honestly, I timed my pregame coffee incorrectly. So he got up to the bat, and I know you guys know what happens when you drink coffee. And he goes, I'm standing there, and he goes, he hadn't even thrown the pitch yet, and I go, uh-oh.
Yeah. He went from the polar bear to a brown bear.
That's exactly the question. Does it bear in the
Right,
woods?
right.
Yes. So he goes, I was swinging at the first pitch. He goes, and if I get a hit,
trouble.
I'm getting picked off second pitch.
Is that right?
Sure enough,
I
he hits
don't
a
want to like
homer.
Pete Alonso. Now I have to like him.
And he hits a homer. It's in Cincinnati. He didn't tell us where it was. And I go, after he tells the story, I go, Pete, because I watch as many games as I can. I go, Pete. I was like, did you hit that homer? Was it a slider off of Hunter Green? He goes, how on earth did you know that? And I was like, I just guessed. He goes, I ran around those bases. He said, I got to second, and I thought, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And he went across home. high five, ring down in, came back out. So that was my favorite story. And
my God.
That's classic.
He's definitely one of my favorite. But then you go like a Max Scherzer, who has been, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Yeah.
He has been a executive board member. He has been a rookie prospect. He kind of busted for a little bit. Then he became the biggest free agent available, and he lived it. He won the World Series, all that stuff. He comes on and he gives honesty to answers and to like stuff that's going on in the game that guys aren't really allowed to say because it's like, hey, you know.
Right, they don't want to get in trouble. But
don't
he's
wanna get
already
in trouble.
Right.
He's made his money.
He's been there, done that, not been all through it. And he can say what he's going to say what he wants. That's what I get from him.
But he does it from like an intelligence standpoint, not just like, you know what I don't like? I don't like when the dirt is dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, what? That is pointless. Why did we? But we have some regulars that I love. Rowdy Tellez is a regular. The first year we were on, Freddie Peralta, fastball Freddie, who's probably going to be top 3 in the Cy Young race this year.
No, he's had a great year, man.
Oh,
Who's Rowdy playing with? I just saw him.
Mariners.
Mariners, right.
Mariners.
So the Mariners have a lot of big dudes. You got obviously the big dumper. Then you got Rowdy Tellez.
How about
Then they got somebody else that's like a big, like stocky, kind of like a linebacker type. Because I literally just saw Rowdy Tellez hit a home run.
No, I'm sorry. No, not the Mariners this year. He was with the Mariners.
So
he's with the Rangers.
Yes.
So him and Jake Berger and Jock Peterson.
That's exactly.
Jake Berger.
So he had hit the home run, and Jake Berger hit the home run.
Yes.
Tellez came in, and like I remember looking at him, going like, are we watching a softball game right here?
There's some big boys, and Rowdy comes on and talks about he's like me and Jock, like we talk about being the fat guys on the team,
right?
And it's fun stuff like that that like you can get when you have the banter of players and ex-players.
Well,
and you talk about the big dumper. I got to tell this story because Cal and I think we met like 2 years ago, and catching wise, like we talk about different stuff, and obviously now he's blown up, should be 1 or 2 in the MVP race. But in my phone, I changed his name to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Well, I have a big-time big league truck that when he texts me, it reads off who's texting me. It says, text from Big Dumper. And my kids think that is the funniest thing ever.
You got to do it in English. Change it to an English accent, right?
I got
Big dumper. Big
dumper.
Like real formal. Big dumper. I think that's what you should do.
Yes, I'll try that. I haven't changed my Siri for a little bit, but I got to try that.
How about alumni? Obviously, like Kruk. Kruk is one of my favorite things. He's a curmudgeon, but he's one of my favorite things to do is before a game when Kruk's on TV. I go into the broadcast room, right? 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, 4 o'clock for a 6:45 game. And Kruk will be lying down on the couch, right? Kind of sleeping, but not really.
My hip hurts.
He's complaining about something. And then LA will be on the computer, and he's talking about completely ridiculous things. T-Mac will kind of egg him on to get Fransky just laughs.
Right. They're like
Right,
the kettle.
Ben will come in and stir the pot a little bit.
Yep.
But Kruk will just sit there people come in. He doesn't move an inch. He's sitting there going,
He is.
Have you had Kruk on the show?
Haven't had Kruk on the show yet. No,
that's a good one.
We haven't had a ton of alumni.
Alumni, right.
It just depends on the situation. Like, we'd love to have alumni, but there's also, we have a cavalcade of current players. The offseason, we have alumni.
How about managers? How about, current managers? Who are the more colorful managers?
My first roommate ever in pro ball was John Schneider, Blue Jays manager.
Yeah.
We have a regular, once a month, Carlos Mendoza comes on the show.
Yeah, the Mets.
And Topper has been on plenty of times. I played for Topper when he was with the Yankees, and he's a guy that I've respected for years, just how he knows the game and all that stuff. So he's been on.
You ever ask him if he has a heartbeat? Because he is the most chill guy.
Because he's so prepared.
Right.
People don't understand
Never
that
let
part
him
of
see
it.
you sweat, man.
He's so prepared. And it comes from his bench coaching days,
Right.
but it also comes from the fact that he was never going to be a big league manager. He was never going to get this opportunity. So when they gave him the opportunity, when one of my other favorite managers, Joe Girardi, got fired, he was like, I'm not really going to change anything. He's like, I'm just going to do what I do. And he went in, and look what he's done. He's had the best record for a manager.
He was going to retire after that year.
Right.
And look at him now. He's got right.
And so it's like you almost, in my opinion, for managers, we're kind of going off on a tangent with managers here, but you have to have that mindset. You have to have that mindset of like, if you're holding on to the job so tight,
then you're going to make decisions that don't make sense for the
But you're still going to make mistakes.
Right.
So why not have mistakes? Do it your way. Enjoy the time, but also invest in the 26 guys that you have, because those are the dudes that go out and play.
Yeah.
And how about the buttons? But it's fun.
He's got some
this
buttons.
whole point. This is the whole point of the show. We're going off on tangents.
Beautiful.
But think about the buttons he's been pushing. I mean, we get Harrison Bader comes in, right? I remember hearing talk radio when Harrison Bader, we get Duran. Nobody knew about Duran, right? And Harrison
I knew
Bader,
about him.
And Harrison,
been great to get that arm, boy.
But Harrison Bader, like, we should have gone out and got Mullins. We should have gone out and got, whoever was Buxton or somebody. But all of a sudden we get Harrison Bader. Think of the buttons he's pushing, where he now has Nick Castellanos buying into. All right, when there's a righty, we're gonna start. We're gonna have more probably Kepler, Bader, and Marsh, and then to telling Kepler when we have a lefty, we might have Weston Wilson and Bader and Castellanos. Right, so he's getting these guys much like your team in '93. Had the platoons at second base, had the platoons both left field, right field, and they bought into it because it's for the greater good of the team. But I feel like all of a sudden Bader's just going gangbusters. All of a sudden Brandon Marsh is going gangbusters, and then you got Stott hitting well. Like it seems like he's pushing his buttons, starting Otto Kemp. Otto Kemp goes 2 for 4 with the game-winning hit. Whoever he's putting in there. We put in, who's the guy? Donnie Walton. I don't know. I barely know.
Donovan Walton.
Donovan Walton, right? And he
played second base.
Right.
When Stott's playing short.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right now with Stott, with Turner out and with Bohm out.
Sosa's banged up.
And Sosa's a little banged up. He's pushing all the buttons, and they're working.
He has good players. Let's take Charlie Manuel's quote. I had good players.
Right.
Like they can play.
Hey, there's another one right there. Let's hear it, Braze.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Tell you what.
I know. You from Buena Vista? What is it?
Yeah.
Buena Vista, that's how I know Spanish. It's a good view. But you have to know your players.
Yeah.
You have to also invest in your players during that time. You think Nick Castellanos is pleased he's not playing?
Right.
Not a chance.
Right.
Do you think if Topper had spent 0 time ever talking to Nick Castellanos the whole time he was playing, every single day, his 435 game streak of playing, if he hadn't talked to him that whole time, he could just be like,
Right.
Nick, you're sitting.
Right.
And Nick would have been like, oh, cool, yeah,
Right,
no
right,
problem.
right.
No,
Yeah,
it's,
you gotta put in the time.
You got to put. I always heard it. You got to put investments in. You got to
Yep.
put in a deposit.
Yep.
I think it's kind of like a marriage. Like you got to put deposits in because at some time you got to take a
Withdrawal,
withdrawal, not for the detriment of that person, but for the betterment of it. And with a team, that's what you have to do. You have to every single day show up to the ballpark, be the same guy.
Yep.
Know that you're not playing the game. Know that it's a freaking tough game.
Be prepared to play when he calls
Trust your
you.
coaches.
Yeah.
And know when to hit the throttle,
Yep.
hit the brake. I think too many managers sometimes they're just all throttle or all brake.
Right.
Like it's like these are my buddies.
Right.
Here we go. And sometimes it's like I can't talk to the players. What if somebody fires me? What's wrong with that guy? Why's he talking this way? Like no.
Yep.
We're all in this boat, and Topper gets that because he's seen winning at the highest level, at the most professional level with
And he's played
the Yankees.
and he's done it in big markets.
Yeah, big.
Like
That's
which helps
it.
too.
That's it.
Speaking of Charlie, by the way, and then we'll go to break.
Yeah.
I've told the story before on the show, but I got to show you or tell you. Down at fantasy camp, we bring Charlie. Charlie comes down here. He's a hit. I mean, Charlie is when we have the Hall of Fame weekend. I sit in the stands and I see who's going to get the biggest round of applause. Obviously, Schmidt's going to get a big one. Kruk's going to get a big one. Steve Carlton's going to get a big one. Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard. Charlie Manuel gets the biggest one every year. He's the most beloved Philly, whether it's manager or player. But Charlie told me, again, this is a repeat, but I said to him down at fantasy camp, I said, just casually at lunch, I said, Charlie, you played in Japan all those years. Can you speak Japanese? Can you read Japanese? Like if you had a Japanese newspaper right now, could you get the gist of it, right? Or if someone's speaking slowly in Japanese, could you? He's like, no, I'll tell you what, little bit, maybe a couple words, but no, not really, right? So 2 days later, we have this thing called a bull session. And the bull session is where any camper can ask any of the players, legends, questions. Larry Boa, hey, what was it? Tommy Greene, what was like that, no-hitter? Dickie Knowles, tell me about throwing at George Brett. Well, if someone says, hey, Charlie, when you played in Japan, I understand that for Americans, they sang a song, you had your own song. Instead of a walk-up song, it's basically the fans sing your own song.
Yeah. I've seen it.
They said, "What do you remember? What song they had for you?" Right? So, and I just asked him the question the day before. So Charlie stands up. You can hear a pin drop because everyone's like, "What's he doing here?" Right? He goes, "I'll tell you what," and he goes, "Akanawa, Hakanara." He sings for a minute in Japanese. And nobody's recording it because we were all shocked that he's singing. You were there. We're all shocked. Like I think we wanted to record it, but we're sitting there watching Charlie Manuel sing in Japanese. And again, he just stopped and all
with
of a sudden,
that accent.
And with that accent, and stopped, and everyone gave him like a standing ovation. But we're all like, what just happened right there, right?
The first ever country Japanese accent.
Country Japanese. And then, sorry, but one last one. I don't know if you ever heard this one. His first day in Japan, did you ever hear that one?
No.
So his first day in Japan, he's the big home run hitter, right? He stands out like a sore thumb. And did you play in Japan?
Just twice for Team USA.
Okay, so it's big in calisthenics. They're big, workout, get in shape, and they don't care if you're big, small. Most of them are small. And so they ran a mountain. Like the first day, they run a mountain. Charlie Manuel, he's a big home run hitter, 4-hole hitter, right? So he runs a mountain, and he's gassed. And they're like, all right, Charlie, we'll take you to, they take him to like what do you call it? Basically, it's a bathhouse, right?
Yeah.
So they go into this bathhouse, and he goes in. He's the only one in there, and he's buck naked, and he's tired. So he's buck naked. He just falls asleep. He said he woke up 30 minutes later. He goes, tell you what, there was all these women poking, prodding, pulling my arm hair. I'm like, I didn't know what to do. Right? There's got to be a movie about Charlie Manuel.
There's got to be something.
There's definitely a Japanese documentary on Charlie.
There's definitely a man. And the last one, which again I've told this before, but I know you love Charlie, is one time we hired him before he became the manager. And he came home after a long day of scouting and had dinner. He's down in Florida, a long day, and he goes back to his condo by himself. And it's like 9 o'clock at night, and he hears like all this rattling in his condo. Do you know this?
I know this story.
Yeah, and he hears crashing. He's like, someone's in my room robbing my place. So he opens up the place, and it's still pitch dark, and he grabs the umbrella. There's an umbrella stand. He grabs an umbrella, and he turns on the light. He goes, hey, hey. And a pelican had gotten into his condo. He left the sliding glass door open, and the pelican now it's following the light, so it's coming right at Charlie, and Charlie's got the umbrella. I would pay so much money to see the video, if there's a Ring camera on that, to see Charlie Manuel fighting a pelican with an umbrella at 9 o'clock at night. Hey, what the hell?
The story, when he tells that story, it kills me. Because he said, I guess I left my porch with my door open and just flew in there. I said, how the hell am I going to get this thing out of
here? You're going into a little foghorn leghorn.
It definitely morphs sometimes.
All right, coming up in the show, we'll talk about the current Phils. 2 weeks left, including a big game tonight in L.A. with our guest Erik Kratz. You're listening to the Bull Session, presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Do you have a large party of 10, 20, even 50 people? We can't wait to treat you like family at Chickie and Pete's. Forget about deposits or credit card reservations. Making a reservation for your large group is effortless at Chickies and Pete's. Lots of options to celebrate and make your night out unforgettable. Order off the menu or select from food and drink packages. Private party rooms available. Make your reservations right now at chickiesandpete's.com. And don't forget, Chickie and Pete's gift cards are the perfect fit for any occasion. Only at Chickies and Pete's.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA live from Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard. I'm John Brazer, joined by co-host Tommy Greene, along with our guest Erik Kratz, and we're going to do the next two segments only in Charlie Manuel's voice.
Yeah.
All right?
It's not Foghorn Leghorn.
Not Foghorn Leghorn. Well, Joe Conklin used to had a bit where he had Charlie Manuel in a fight with Foghorn Leghorn. It's like, I'll kick your ass. No, I'll kick your ass. No, I'll kick your ass.
Michael Martinez one time, again, we're off the rails, but Michael Martinez one time, if everybody remembers Big Mike.
Yeah.
His locker was right next to the door, double doors as you come into the clubhouse, and the double doors were behind him, and Big Mike was sitting in his chair like this, and he was doing a great Charlie Manuel impression.
Mike Martinez.
Michael
Really?
Martinez, and he was like, well, he goes, I like home runs. I like home runs. And then Chuck is standing right behind him, and he goes, Big Mike. He goes, keep going, I like it. And so the rest of the time, he would walk by, and Mike was like, Mike,
to death.
Yeah, he was like an up and down
right, I was
guy.
gonna say, right,
Like, he's
right.
And that endeared him to Chuck like nobody's
Is
been.
that right?
Like, it was awesome. He's like, hey, Big Mike, what would Chuck say? It was good.
All right, let's talk about the current team. Obviously, we have a big series in LA. We have a 4.5 game lead on the Dodgers. We have 12 games left, right?
Yep.
We have 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against Arizona on the road, 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the Twins. So, what's your thoughts on the team from this point on? I mean, obviously, they've got some injuries. Their starting rotations, man, if they just rallied, they lose Wheeler, and they've just rallied. They've kind of galvanized around themselves.
It's not just a starting rotation. It's
I know. And then
the hitters.
Well, and the hitters are just, it's. I don't know if it's the Harrison Bader effect. It's the fact that Duran effect that he's now as a closer, and now Strom and Kirkering and even
combination.
all these guys have their Tanner Banks have their roles, and even then we pick up the kid from Allentown.
Lou Trevino
and the other and the
Tim
Meza, and then
they had the Pennsylvania connection there. They went Meza to Lou Trevino. I know they gave up some runs,
right,
but
that's fine.
When the PA boys, I'm like, do I need to get out there?
Yeah, right.
It's a blowout. Do I need to
I'm
catch
glad you
for
can
them?
do that. I can't even do that.
Yeah, well,
So-
you got paid to do this.
So looking at it, why don't you give us a quick? Because you work in all around. You're talking to guys from different teams. Tell us we'll stay in the National League. Tell us the strengths and weaknesses of, go through just quick scenarios of the Padres, the Cubs, the Milwaukee Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers, the guys, and Mets, and I guess maybe even the Reds a little bit.
So
Giants too.
Right. So first of all, the worst part of the National League is all the best teams are in the National League.
Right.
It is very, I think you could probably say there's 4 or 5 teams in the National League before I would get to number 1 in the American League.
Right.
That is the toughest part for the National League. It's a gauntlet.
Right.
Teams are going to beat each other up. Think about the first round if it started today. Dodgers are going to face the Mets. The Mets stink. The Mets cannot win a game because they can't pitch. They're playing a 7-inning game. You got to get 27 outs, and they can't figure out how to get the last 6. And I'm not saying it's Edwin Diaz. I'm saying their starter goes 4. Their bullpen is now down to Tyler Rogers and Edwin Diaz.
Well,
not
I'm
healthy.
saying like guys that are that are imploding.
And you get like 2 or 3 outs if you're lucky from Reed Garrett.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they have to figure out how to play 9 innings.
Right.
Because in the playoffs, they're not going to be able to do that. The Dodgers, now that they have Max Muncy back and he actually takes pitches, nobody in the Dodgers lineup took pitches before. He has changed that offense for that team. Even whether he gets hits or not, he has 20 pitches per game in his 4 at-bats, and it just wears the other team out. And that offense, Mookie Betts is hitting he's got like an 850 OPS in the last 30 games, so he's starting to heat up. Freddie's going to be Freddie.
They're starting to get healthy too.
Shohei, and I think the Dodgers probably kind of sat around like, you know what, we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to make sure you're healthy. Shohei's going to be Shohei. My thing with Shohei, when he plays in the playoffs, if he pitches on days he pitches and the next day his batting is it's down to mortal human standards. How are they going to use him?
Right.
That's my question with the Dodgers. But right now they're going out with Yamamoto, Blake Snell, and Tyler Glasnow. Tyler Glasnow's going 20 innings. He's given up 1 hit.
Right.
The Dodgers are hitting on all cylinders right
dude.
now.
He's
Right.
unbelievable.
And the Phillies, game 1, they get Emmett Sheehan. I think it's going to be one of their easiest games. But again, the Dodgers' fault is if you throw Yamamoto game 1, he can't come back in 5 days rest. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, Yamamoto threw the game 1, so he's going to definitely pitch game 4. No, he can't. He has never in his career thrown on 5 days rest. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic for them, how they handle it. But then you go to the Cubs. The Cubs starting rotation, Tyon's back now, so they have a better chance, but they have to hit. We're watching the Cubs right now. They're playing the Pirates. I think the Cubs are just a product of a hot offense early.
Right.
They will go as far as Kyle Tucker takes them.
Yep.
Kyle Tucker is
banged up right now.
If the Phillies really go hard in the free agent market, should be a Philly next year.
Right.
Yeah.
He was almost a Philly this year. They were going to trade Nick Castellanos, Alec Boehm, and I'm not sure which pitching prospect it was. It wasn't Painter, but it was somebody else, for Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker in right field in Citizens Bank Park.
Right.
He only has 28 homers this year.
But he's been banged up a little bit.
He's been banged up, but he's got he would have the second highest OPS plus. And if he was on the Phillies. My thing is, their offense is just sputtered.
Right.
But this is why the last 2 weeks are going to be so interesting. The teams that get hot, this is what happened to the Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets tripped and fell into the playoffs, and they were hot. Mark Vientos was
2011, the Cardinals.
He was unbelievable. We couldn't get him
Cardinals
out.
backdoor in, and then next thing you know, we had the best team we've probably ever had.
Yeah.
And we lose to the Cardinals.
Okay,
all right,
that's
hold
pitching right there, pal.
Hold that thought, because when we come up, we come back for our last segment. We still got to talk to the Padres. We got a couple other teams to talk about, and we'll obviously talk about the Phils, where you think they stand. Yep. We're with our guest Erik Kratz. You listen to the Bull Session, presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice-cold draft beer, world-famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chickie and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Bull Session presented by BC WSA live from Chickies and Pete's, Roosevelt Boulevard. I'm John Brazer, joined by co-host Tommy Greene, and along with our guest Erik Kratz. All right, Kratzy. So we talked. We didn't cover the Giants, who also are playing pretty well. And the Padres, and then let's get into the Phillies.
All right, well, let's just spend a little time on the Giants. Meh.
Nah, nothing.
I don't know.
They got Logan Webb. I got a couple.
They have Logan Webb and Robbie Ray.
Ray, right.
And they both lost the last 2 days.
Right.
They gave 11 runs combined in their 2 starts. Those are the guys they needed. I think they're probably a 500 team. They got rid of Rogers. They got rid of now it was good because they got rid of Hicks and some of the returns. So I think they're kind of eh.
What about
I thought the Reds were going to be a team that was going to overtake the Mets because they also have the tiebreak. That's the big thing. Like if you end the season, because there's no tiebreak games, you end the season tied, they're in.
Well, that's why we get to take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers.
That was advantage.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Reds. I would love to see the Reds in. I really like that team.
Now, they would have Abbott and they would have Hunter Greene, but, right?
Abbott, Hunter Greene, Brady, and Chase Burns just came back.
Yeah.
I think their arms are legit. I think Emilio Pagan's a closer that not many people know. He's had a lot of experience, but he's done well. And I think the Padres are a fun team to watch. I would rather go and watch them in their stadium because I think that's the environment, that's the vibe.
Yep.
They don't hit any homers.
Yeah.
They don't hit any homers. And who's going to start for them? They have the best bullpen in baseball.
Yeah, they do. I was going to say that's a huge strength.
They lost Jason Adam, and you've seen playoffs.
Yep.
Bullpen does win in the playoffs. But even my Royals team, when we won the World Series and lost in 14 and then won in 15, we had an incredible bullpen. Our starters at least went 5.
Right.
Who's going 5 for the Pivetta?
Is Michael King their number what?
Michael King should be their 1.
Right.
But he just got back.
Right.
He just got back. So if he can go 5 for them, I think that sets them up big. Pivetta will definitely give you 5, a lot of strikeouts. I think Pivetta right now is their number 1. They'll probably start King, but I think Pivetta is their number 1. And then do you go Dylan Cease, who strikes out a lot of batters.
But he's also
it's 4 innings.
Yeah.
And it's 4 walks, 8 punch-outs in the playoffs. That plays. But not against a team that knows how to scratch, claw, and allow you to run your pitch count up. And that's why I think if they get starting pitching depth, they could be the World Series team. That's what's so amazing about the National League because then we go to the Phillies. The Phillies are the team that
even without Wheeler, you still have Sanchez leading off or being the first pitcher.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to break up the lefties because based on talent, it's Sanchez, then it's Ranger, then it's probably Luzardo on talent, and then Nola but it could be Nola on a 3-game series or a best of 5. It could be Nola, that number 2 spot, to break up the 2 lefties.
Okay, maybe, but
I'd like to see he's got to be pitching better.
Has Nola shown you? To me, here's when I would throw Nola game 2. If you get 7 or 8 out of Christopher Sanchez in game 1, because then I can give Nola 4 innings, and now I have the entire bullpen and an off day.
An off day followed.
Yeah.
Because Nola has shown he has been lights out or not.
Maybe one bad inning.
Then it has that 1 inning that just bangs him.
And I think, I know Topper and Caleb Cotham can see when that's coming.
Right.
In the regular season, you don't do that.
No.
This last start against the Royals stink. The Royals' offense, besides Bobby Witt and Salvador Perez and RBIs from Vinny Pasquantino, shouldn't score more than 2 or 3 runs against you. But because you have to leave Nola in because you're trying to lengthen him out, you're trying to get him through these speed bumps, you have to leave him in, and he gives up 6 runs. In my opinion, that's not going to happen. It won't happen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he's not as invaluable as people think. If he doesn't even have it in the second, we're good.
Yeah.
And I also think 3 lefties in a row is not a big deal. If you look at numbers, even platoon splits against lefty pitchers this year, and we have 3 of the best here in Philly.
Yep.
You are going to get a lot of really, really weak contact. You are going to get a lot of quick outs, and these guys pound the strike zone, and they get outs in the strike zone. And lefties that get outs in the strike zone in this league right now, because of platoon splits, teams will not start lefties against them. If I were an opposing team, who would they draw in the first round? If I were the Dodgers, I would put a lefty in against Christopher Sanchez and against Luzardo, because what is Christopher Sanchez's best pitch?
Changeup.
How many left-on-left changeups is he throwing? Now, he's started to do it more, and it's gotten him more strikeouts, and I think that's helped him take the next level. But I think the game in general has gone so platoon. Well, he's left-handed. We got to put a righty in.
They're matching up.
And I think that's where the Phillies had the advantage, and they had the advantage also because Johan Duran closes games out on ease, and I think it just makes the game so much shorter. I talked about the Mets playing a 7-inning game. The Phillies have like 11 or 12 innings each night in that bullpen. Tanner Banks gets no love for what he's done.
Unbelievable job.
He's done a great job all year.
And then you have Strom, and I think Tim Meza, he hasn't done that well, but there's another lefty that slots in because Matt Strom isn't a lefty. Yes, he throws left-handed. Yes, he looks left-handed. But he is a platoon. It doesn't matter. He's a platoon even guy. And so to me, it's obviously Strom, Kirkring, and Duran. That's, you get 6 from your starter, and then you go those 3 guys. But that's not how the playoffs works. Even Luzardo has a blow-up inning. Again, you take him out. Now you get – that's why I think Luzardo in Game 2, as much as I'd love to see Ranger, and they're going to be at home. Ranger's numbers at home are so good. There's a lot of things that you do. The rotation has me thinking, okay, this is the second best rotation in the playoffs, because I think the Dodgers' mega top 3 are scary for teams. Yeah. And so that's why I picked them first. Team-wise, player for player, I think the Phillies are the best team in the National League, and I think it's only an exclamation point is put on when they got Duran.
All right, couple questions. Where do you see obviously Turner's coming back, assuming he comes back healthy, right? And you got Bohm in the lineup.
Come back.
And you got Bohm in the lineup. Where are you batting Harrison Bader if he stays on this current trajectory? Where are you?
7th or 8th.
7th or 8th, okay.
And depending on how they do the split, how they do the left, right kind of thing.
All right, Taijuan Walker. Does Taijuan Walker make a playoff roster?
Yes.
Okay. Then does that mean that, let's say Walker Buehler pitches well in his next outing, is there a scenario where Walker Buehler is maybe that long relief guy, that maybe secret guy from the bullpen? He's obviously done it in playoff experience or not.
I don't see it, but his next start matters.
Yeah.
He faced the Royals last time.
Right.
I think Walker Buehler has that, as TG would say, that dog in him.
Right.
Because he's got the experience. But if you're going on experience, Nick Castellanos should be starting in right field for the playoffs, because if you look at Phillies didn't hit last year.
And Nick did.
It was Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos.
Right.
And if you're all of a sudden going, last year's, playoff flop by the Phillies offense, in my opinion, it was because of the fact that they were playing in shadows. If you go back and look at the game, the Phillies draw the 4:30 shadow game.
Yeah.
That's nasty, man.
That is nasty.
It's nasty. And so you got to look at that in that way. I'm not saying Nick has to start, and I'm not saying that Walker Buehler is on that, especially in a 5-game series. I don't think Walker Buehler's on the roster. Maybe 7 games. But Taijuan, I think he's done it.
And last question, does Weston Wilson or Otto Kemp take that last roster spot?
Wow.
Because they both are playing very well. They both bring a little different value. Obviously, Weston Wilson is more of an outfielder.
It is. And I think it really depends on
the health of the infield.
Where right now, I think it's Otto Kemp, just because the infield may need some health with Edmund, with Edmundo Sosa and Trey Turner. Trey's not going to steal any bases.
And then Bohm has he coming
up
with a shoulder? Yeah.
Things don't hurt in the playoffs.
All right.
As much.
Guys, got to wrap it up.
Feel good.
We could go for another hour, but that wraps up this week's Bull session presented by BCWSA. I'd like to thank my co-host, great Tommy Greene, our guest today, Erik Kratz, back in the studio, Gus Barber, and our on-site engineer, Chris Ermer. Thanks also to Pete and the great staff here at Chickies and Pete's, Roosevelt Boulevard. We're going to be back next Monday at 6 p.m. at Chickies and Pete's in Glassboro, New Jersey. We're going to have former center fielder Ben Revere will be our guest.
How about that?
Have a great week. And as the late, great Harry the K says,
we're out of here.
WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297.